Hello there. I thought I'd take this time to talk about the Game Awards 2022 that just happened the other night. Go through what I thought of the show, go through some of the trailers that I was really excited about, for us to get to know each other a little bit better. So I don't watch the show every year, but this year the kids were over and it just happened to be the night that it was on, so we watched it together. Kids playing on their tablets and phones, but they, watched with me. Overall, it's a great show. It really moved this year. I know some of the complaints in the past were that it's been a little too slow, so they've gone through steps over the years to sort of correct that and make it go a little bit faster. And although it was a little long, it does seem a little long at times, it did move rather briskly, which I was impressed about. Although I don't really understand the 30-minute pre-show before the show where they give awards. Why is that just not part of the show? I don't know. So I just think it's weird to have 30 minutes on the front. That's just awards and part of the show, but it's not part of the show. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. But overall, they do a great job with the show. I'm very impressed, especially this year, and I'll continue to watch it. I'll tell you what I liked, what I didn't like, and all that sort of fun stuff. I'm not going to go over every single game that we saw there because to me, a lot of the games, honestly, nowadays look the same. They all have that same sort of aesthetic, same graphical effects, then big knights with big swords, Elden Ring style stuff. And then there's like the space style stuff, right? And honestly, a lot of the games on this show sort of mesh together and just look like a little bit of clones of each other. And that's just where we are in the industry right now. And it's a good thing and a bad thing, right? It's good. We get some good games. But sometimes it's a bad thing because we lose a little innovation and stuff. And so that stood out to me from this show also. So one of the first announcements, I've never played Dead Cells. I don't really play roguelikes. I know that's like a, 2D Metrovania, like roguelike sort of thing. It's not really my type of game. However, I did recognize the Castlevania characters right away. So I was watching it with my kids and I'm like, I don't know what game this is, but I know what that's from. That's Castlevania. And they're like, what? And I had to explain what Castlevania was and stuff. But I thought it was a really fun moment with my kids to see, Alucard in one of the Belmonts there and be like, oh, that's from Castlevania. That's pretty cool. So that was pretty cool. So I'll check that out maybe when it comes out. The next trailer that stood out to me was the post-trauma trailer. Because I 100% thought this was Silent Hill remake or something from that first 10 seconds of the trailer. Like if you go watch the trailer, that first, 5 seconds or so where it's showing different camera angles and, flashy things and stuff like that, I for sure thought, hey, this is a Silent Hill 2 remake or something like that. But it's not, I don't think, at least. But the game looks good, and I love the classic Silent Hills, and it looks like it's just a straight homage to the old Silent Hill games, so I'm definitely excited about it. Viewfinder was the next trailer that really stood out to me, and it really actually impressed my daughter. My daughter, she loves doing crafts, and she loves drawing and stuff like that. The way they presented the video and stuff, it was right up her alley. Like, she was super excited when she saw, going into the paintings and stuff like that. But it does look very relaxing, very good, very artistic. I love the level of artistry in games nowadays, so that's very impressive with it. So the next game that stood out to me was called Replaced, and I absolutely adore the graphic style of the game. The the polygon pixel look that I think got more notoriety from Octopath Traveler. So a lot of games have used that engine since Octopath Traveler has come out, and it completely caught me by surprise. I did not know what this game was or what was going on there, but once it started showing the moving camera inside, some of the fight scenes and stuff like that, how it looks with the pixelated graphics. If anybody knows me, and if you subscribe to the channel and you watch some of my videos, you'll know I love pixels. I love the pixel look. So this game is right up my alley. I'm 100% gonna play this game. It looks amazing, and you should check it out for sure. Watch the trailer. They announced the release date for Street Fighter 6. I'm an old school player. Obviously, I've played Street Fighter throughout the years. And, some of them I like more than the others. I'm not a super huge modern fighting game fan. I do pick up one once in a while. So Street Fighter 6, it was there. The graphics looked good. My only takeaway from this, my only sort of complaint, to be honest, like I know what they're trying to do. They've been trying to do it. They're not shy about it. Is they want to do that build a player thing where you can, make your own character and then go, fight against the Street Fighter people. Sort of like it's almost like an NBA, like 2K sort of thing, create your person and go through with your person. And the trailer stood out to me because the graphics of the create a player, like fighting with the Street Fighter characters, the graphic style was like so different. It didn't look right to me, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense the way I'm explaining it, but that's just my feelings. Like the graphic style, he looked like a real person fighting against like a cartoony person, and it just kind of clashed a little bit. So I don't know. Maybe they can tune that. Maybe they just don't care. That's the style they're going for. So whatever it is. The next game. Oh, the next game is easily my game of the show. I was not expecting this at all. Once the trailer started playing, I didn't know what it was. I knew who made the game, and I know what games they've made in the past. So I was excited because I've loved every game Supergiant has ever made. Like loved. And when the trailer was going, I couldn't figure it out. I'm like, hey, wasn't Supergiant making like some sports, like weird sports, like dodgeball, weird game or something like that? Maybe this is it finally? I could be wrong about that. Could be another developer. But as the trailer went on, I picked up on the music. And then especially when they started talking, I picked up on the voice actors. And I was like, oh my God. Is this DLC to Hades? Because I know Hades, I played Hades this year, but I know it's been out for a few years. So I thought maybe, hey, this is DLC for Hades. No. This is Hades Part 2. And I've said before, I don't like roguelikes. However, Hades, I love Hades. Hades is right up my alley. Hades was the bomb. I could play it over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. Hades was amazing. The art style, the music, the voice acting, everything. So I'm super hyped for Hades 2. Like super hyped. This is gonna be the bomb. This game, my game of the show right there. The next trailer that I really liked was Judas, and funny story is I actually was looking away when the trailer first started, I guess, and I didn't see from the creator of BioShock. So I didn't see that part. So I started watching the trailer with my son, and I was like, oh my gosh, this game looks like a sequel to BioShock Infinite or something like that. This looks like a BioShock game. And as we watched the trailer, I'm explaining to my son, hey, a little bit about BioShock, not too much. He's pretty young. But the whole time I was like, man, this looks like BioShock. This looks crazy. This looks great. And the trailer ended, and I was like, oh man, that looks great. It looks like a BioShock type game. And then when I watched the trailer again later, it was like from the creator of BioShock. I was like, dope. So the game looks great. BioShock is obviously great, and Judas looks to be much of the same. Destiny 2, they showed off the new DLC, and it looked pretty good. I've played Destiny off and on in the past. It hasn't always, held my attention, I guess you could say. And my big problem with Destiny is if you stop playing for a little while and jump into it again, when you load into like the map screen, the menu screen, all you see is these bubbles. Buy this DLC, buy this DLC, buy this DLC, buy this one, then this one, to like do anything. Like it's so confusing on where to go to actually play some of the game if you don't own all the expansion packs and DLC and stuff like that. And so it really turned me off a little bit. So I haven't played in a long time. It was super fun to play and stuff. So I don't know. More DLC for Destiny 2, more little boxes on the map to say, hey, you gotta pay for this, man. Can't play this until you pay. Okay, next is the big trailer that me and my son Isaac were really looking forward to. It's the new Star Wars game, Jedi Survivor. And the trailer did not disappoint. The trailer looked great. The graphics looked great. I like the new model of Cal and everything. The only thing I wish I got from the trailer was a little bit more story, because the stuff that it's showing off, the graphics, the lightsaber fights and stuff like that, I think we all already know that those are going to be great, right? So that's one of my pet peeves a little bit, is you're showing off stuff we already know is going to be great. Obviously, the lightsaber combat's going to be great. It's going to hit all the points that action games nowadays have to hit. So give me more than that. Like, I wanted more of the story in there, and there's nothing really about the story, and that's what would keep me interested and get me really hyped for the game. So sure, the game's gonna be good, sure it's gonna be fun, need more of the story. DS2, Death Stranding 2. So, I'm gonna tell on myself here. Didn't like the first game all that much, it was a little boring, a little tedious, but it was what it was, right? So Hideo Kojima is obviously a gaming genius. He does a lot of cool stuff, but having said that, also, a lot of his stuff is more style over substance, right? And that Death Stranding is that in a nutshell, you know what I mean? Like, it looks beautiful. One of the most beautiful looking games you'll ever see. Acting, voice acting, music, graphics, all that sort of stuff. But the underlying gameplay, to me, was not very fun. So I'm not super hyped for this, It, could be funner than the first game, I guess. The trailer does look really funky. It definitely looks like a Kojima game. And the graphics are, right there where they need to be. Amazing. So we'll see, I guess. This part of the thing, there was a bunch of trailers with a bunch of games that looked all almost the same. They all blended in. None of them stood out to me. So that is what it is. Until it got to the concert and then Diablo 4. Which Diablo 4 showed off one of the cinemas, and obviously it was amazing. But I'm not sure Blizzard has fully earned my trust back. I'm a World of Warcraft player still, and Blizzard's gone through some things, let me tell you, the past couple of years, right? And so, I'm not so sure if I fully trust them. Obviously, Diablo 4's got to be better than 3. Diablo 3 I played to death the first couple of weeks it came out, but it really fell off a cliff for me a little bit in enjoyment. It did not hold up its end of the bargain. It went downhill quick, and hopefully with Diablo 4 they get back on track a little bit. Blue Protocol looked really good. However, I mentioned before, I'm a WoW player. There's only one spot in my life for an MMO, and that's what I'm sticking with now, okay? I haven't dropped that ship yet, even though, I've taken breaks from that over the years. But Blue Protocol definitely looks good. It's got that anime aesthetic that a lot of people like. So if that's your thing, I'm sure it's going to be good. The trailer looked great. The next most notable thing to me was they showed off a clip from the Mario movie. I've seen both trailers and I have 2 kids. Obviously, I'm gonna go see the movie. So it's just a given at this point. However, I'm still not quite sold on Chris Pratt. To me, you can almost tell that they know that from the trailers, because they're showing trailers where Mario's not talking very much. That sends a red flag off to me a little bit. That maybe, I don't know, maybe they're trying to hide, his more complex dialogue or stuff like that. Because in the trailer so far, and in that one, he's only had like a couple, words, you know what I mean? And they sound fine, I guess, but, I'm not completely sold. I'm sure it's going to be a fun movie. It's made by a great company. My daughter loves the Minions movies and everything. So the next game that I took note of was called Meet Your Maker. And I don't do roguelikes very often. However, Meet Your Maker looked super unique because it breaks sort of the fourth wall. It's like, there's some robot guy that's making the levels or something like that. And you need to get to the end to challenge him or something like that. Anyways, it could be interesting. I don't know, but it looked pretty interesting. Maybe it's something I'll check out. And then last couple things. The last trailer of the night was Final Fantasy 16, which looked graphically, again, absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. Never complain about the graphics from Square Enix. Well, maybe. Not that often though. But yeah, the trailer had everything, all the notes that Final Fantasy needs in it. But having said that, to me nowadays, I still think Final Fantasy peaked around the PlayStation days. And I do mean that. 7, 8, 9, almost perfection. Best 3-game streak of games almost of all time. And I love the old school Final Fantasies, the Super Nintendo ones too. All that good stuff. 10, not so hot on 10, 11 and 12. And then when they got into the teens, they faltered a little bit. And me, I really did not like the last Final Fantasy that came out, Final Fantasy 15. That was definitely not one of my favorites. So I'm afraid that it, just like Kojima, like I said with Kojima, a lot of Square's modern games are more style over substance again. Because what those old games, the old Final Fantasies, what they lack in graphical fidelity, they definitely make up in substance, right? And it seems to have turned around a little bit. The last Final Fantasy I was not a fan of. The 4 dude bros walking through the desert and zipping around in their car and stuff like that, there was no female main characters. Like, you couldn't make one of those 4 dudes a girl. You know, like there's certain things I didn't like about that game, and I hope the design decisions are different for this one. Because we know it's gonna have the summons. It's gonna have great graphics. It's gonna have a good story. It's gonna be long. It's gonna have all the Final Fantasy hits that we need along the way, but we need more than that now, right? We need Final Fantasy to regain some of that magic that it had back in the day. So my hopes are high. I'm always gonna try to stay positive. Graphics look great. Trailer looked good. We'll see how it goes. And obviously I want to say congratulations to Elden Ring, won Game of the Year. My personal choice was God of War, but you can't go wrong with either one. So both of them were the big winners throughout the night. They were nominated for a bunch of different categories. And me, I don't do open world games too much. That's why I haven't played Elden Ring, but Elden Ring, I'm sure, was a massive endeavor. So many things, so many moving pieces, so many people, and they all deserve all the praise in the world for making such a great game that made so many people happy. And then the weird ending happened. While the director was giving the acceptance speech at the end for Elden Ring Game of the Year, I guess some kid wandered on the stage. I'm sure you've heard about this by now. This video is coming out a couple days after the awards. But there was a kid behind them on stage the whole time, and I just assumed it was someone's child or something like that. But I guess not, and no security went up on stage or anything like that. So it was just awkward. As they were giving their award, he was just, standing in the back, like, looking weird. And then once they were done, he went up to the microphone and started just saying stuff, I guess. I couldn't understand what he was saying. I guess he said something about Bill Clinton and some alt-right, like, anti-Semitic stuff and stuff like that. But you can see it wasn't right, because as he was talking, it pulled out to a long shot, and you could see, like, security start to come into the stage. So that told me in my head, hey, that dude is not with them. I don't know what he's saying, but he's getting thrown out. Because if you watch the footage, you can see the security people start to converge on him as it zoomed away. But it was a fun ending to a fun show. So that's my thoughts about the Game Awards this year. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below what you're most excited for and everything. And if you like this video, let me know. We'll talk some more. So thanks for watching. Make sure you follow me on stuff below, and I'll check you later.